afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the Fire Situation Report. I'm Daniel Berlanth, live in the CAL FIRE Information Center. Thanks for joining us. For those of you watching us live on Periscope and Facebook, if you have questions about the fires or you have questions on how you can get set, ask those questions now. We'll do our best to respond to them. Now, the temperatures are on the rise. We're going to see triple-digit temperatures. We'll talk about in just a minute what that weather conditions will mean for our fire risk. But hopefully, you all enjoyed your three-day weekend for Memorial Day, taking some time to really pay tribute to those men and women who died, keeping our freedom safe this Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully you had fun. Now, I can tell you, though, our firefighters were very busy. In fact, last week there were over 186 new wildfires all across the state, those fires burning thousands of acres. Now, since the beginning of the year, there have already been nearly 1,300 wildfires that have burned nearly 12,000 acres. So we are definitely starting to see our fire conditions increase significantly, and this week's weather is definitely going to only elevate that fire risk even higher. Now, there are two active fires currently burning across California. I want to show you here on our statewide fire map. You can see this is the fire burning in Tuolumne County, and we have one burning in Kern County. Now, you can find this map on our website, fire.ca.gov. This interactive Google map will actually let you zoom in, and you can see where the fires are burning specifically. But this is the Tulock fire. It started yesterday afternoon just near New Melones Reservoir in Tuolumne County right here. So far, that fire has burned 85 acres and is 60% contained. Here's some photos that were taken of that fire. Just again, burning west of Sonora and just to the east of Copperopolis, 85 acres, 60% contained on that fire. It primarily burned in open grassland, so it was able to burn quite a bit very quickly, but once crews were able to get in there, they were able to stop the forward spread of the fire. Fortunately, this area is primarily a rural area. There's not a lot of homes, but if you were vacationing or boating on New Melones Reservoir, you probably saw quite a bit of equipment like the CAL FIRE helicopter and the firefighters. Again, this fire, 85 acres, 60% contained. The other fire that is currently burning in California is the Walker Fire. This is a photo from our friends at Kern County Fire Department. The Walker Fire started yesterday as well near the community of Caliente. Now, crews from the Kern County Fire Department, the U.S. Forest Service, aided by CAL FIRE and local fire departments, were able to quickly attack this fire. In all, 25 acres were burned. That fire, 30% contained. I'll show you on the map exactly where the Walker Fire burned. Again, that was down in Kern County. So if we zoom out from the Tulock Fire that burned in Tuolumne County yesterday, go down to Kern County. Here's Bakersfield. As we zoom in, you can see the Walker Fire just to the east of Bakersfield itself, near the community of Caliente. This is somewhat of a rural area, but again, a quick response was able to contain the Walker Fire itself. Now, going back to our map, I'll zoom back out. You can see across the state, there were other fires. As I mentioned last week, in total, 184 new wildfires. Most of those contained to less than 10 acres, but there were several of them, as you can see here on this map, that were able to grow and require continued response. The first one down in Fresno County, that was the DeWolf Fire. It burned just north of Clovis. 270 acres burned. That fire fully contained on May 25th. If we zoom up here to Butte County, we'll go up to the Northern California area. This fire was just north of Oroville, put off quite a bit of smoke for those people vacationing near Lake Oroville. Here it is. Here is Oroville itself. This fire, the 70 fire right off Highway 70, 30 acres in total were burned. The other fire in Butte County was the Dunstone Fire. It burned about 91 acres just west of the community of Bangor. And again, just to give you some perspective, here is Lake Oroville, the 70 fire just to the northwest, and the Dunstone Fire just to the south near the community of Bangor. So those two fires last week in Butte County did burn, but were quickly extinguished. Here's another fire that burned last week. That only burned 11 acres, though, off of Fiddler Road. It's called the Fiddler Fire, just east of the community of Ono. This map will zoom back out so we can start to see some place markers. Here is Ogo, Ono, and Igo. Here's Anderson. So this fire just to the west of Anderson, just to the southwest of Redding itself. Again, very small fire. We were able to keep it to 11 acres. The other large fire that we really talked about a lot last week was the Metz Fire. That fire was down in Monterey County, down here right off Highway 101 near Soledad. That fire burned over 3,800 acres. Here you can see Soledad. This is Highway 101 that runs from Monterey here down the south all the way up to Salinas. 3,876 acres were burned. This is one of the largest fires of the year. It now is contained. So zooming back out to our statewide fire map again, there are only 2 active fires. Both, the forward spread has been stopped, but a busy week for our firefighters indeed. Now let's talk about the weather conditions. It is definitely going to be hot. Now, Alexis Boggs, don't forget to mention mowing and edging in hot temperatures. Absolutely. This week's temperatures, let's show you them. They are definitely going to be a scorcher. Looking at today, it looks fairly warm. You can start to see the yellows and the red in the areas where we're going to see triple-digit temperatures. So across the Central Valley, across many parts of Southern California, we're going to already be hitting those triple-digit temperatures. And as Alexis mentioned, you've got to make sure you take that extra precaution. Going out and using powered equipment in the heat of the day when it's hot out, not the best idea. Definitely take advantage of making sure that you are spending time indoors, not using that powered equipment outdoors. Here's today, though. Let's jump to June 4th. Later in the week, you can see just how hot temperatures are going to get. In fact, we're going to hit 115 in some parts of the desert area by the end of the week. So it will be a hot week, but it's also going to be a windy week. I'm going to jump over to this map showing the wind gusts for the week. The areas in yellow are where we're going to see the wind. That's anywhere from 20 to 30 miles an hour, primarily areas along the Central Coast. You can see down here in the Bakersfield area, the Southern California mountain ranges, the Angeles National Forest, the San Bernardino National Forest, as well as some parts of the northern Sierra and up into the northern eastern part of California. So we're going to see the majority of the wind, but the biggest wind down here in Kern County, may be hard to see, but kind of into the eastern portion of Kern County. By later in the week, we could see wind gusts of 40 to 45 miles an hour, so it will be very windy. So you add these triple-digit temperatures, you add these strong winds, that fire risk will definitely go up. Now, there's a potential up in the northeastern part of California. We can actually see some thunderstorms. Hopefully there'll be some rainfall with them, but if not, there could be the potential that we could see some dry lightning. Now, Gail asked, what's the safest way to clear brush on a large piece of property? My neighbor uses a very noisy weed whacker. Not only is it very loud, but it seems unsafe. Now, a weed trimmer can be one of the safer tools if you're using the correct type of tool. Make sure that your weed trimmer uses a string blade, not a metal blade. The problem with lawnmowers or even weed trimmers that have metal blades is if you haven't cleared out that field from any rocks or other debris, that metal blade could actually spark a wildfire and do more damage than good. You trying to do the right thing, just using the wrong tool the wrong way. Another question, Carolyn asked, we have raw land next to us and the people do not maintain it. Are we allowed to cut a fire break to protect our home and property? You really need to concentrate on your home, that defensible space around your home. But it never hurts to make sure that around your fence line, if you have a larger parcel of property, that you've cut the grass around the gate itself. So if a fire outside your property does occur, you do have that fire break around your home. But work with your community, talk to your neighbors, make sure you're working together as a team to ensure that you have a good defensible space zone, not just around your home, but around your entire neighborhood. So these areas, though, where we're going to see the wind, try not to use powered equipment during the heat of the day. Do it early in the morning before it gets too hot and before that wind really starts to blow. So what can you do, though, in preparation? You've got to make sure you have a wildfire action plan so that you, your family, know exactly what to do if a wildfire does strike in your area. Now, I'll show you some video of a family that's actually working to create their wildfire action plan. It starts by making sure that everybody in your home knows what to do and where to go if a wildfire does occur. Have a meeting place, a location away from your home that you can all go to. Maybe it's a grocery store that is out of the neighborhood by 5 miles. Find that meeting place and let everybody know. Sit down, though. Come up with an action plan of where are you going to go? Who are you going to stay in contact with? A great reminder is have an out-of-state contact. That person is the contact so that if you are evacuated and some people are at work, some people are at school, contact that one person so that they can make sure to keep track of everybody. But sit down with your family tonight and really start talking about how would you evacuate, what routes would you use, and do it in a plan itself. You can find a full wildfire action plan on our website at readyforwildfire.org. That's where you can get a checklist of all the things you should do to make sure you have that wildfire action plan that is all set to go. Now, this temperature and the wind that's going to come up is definitely going to be a risk come this week. So we know wildfire season is here, and we know that wildfire risk is occurring. Now, Wendy has a good question. The gardeners at their condo complex just blow the leaves down a bit, and we have about 10 years of leaves and needles. They talk about the neighbors not caring. Who can I help? You've got to work together with your neighbors, and those leaves have to be either raked up and disposed. Many communities have yard waste where you can take leaves and branches. Find out from your local garbage disposal if they'll take yard waste. In some areas of the state, you can burn it. Now, the burn season is quickly going to be ending here, so if there is a day, not this week, but if there is a day where temperatures are cooler and we don't have wind, in some areas you can burn it. But find those alternative ways where you can mulch the debris, or whether you can take it to your local landscape. That's a great way to make sure that that debris around your home is removed. So whether it's defensible space around your home or whether it's having a wildfire action plan, make sure you're set. Again, go to readyforwildfire.org for all the information you need. Now, for the latest on the fires that are burning in California for the rest of the week, you can always visit our website at fire.ca.gov or follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. That's the latest on the fire situation here in California. I'm Daniel Berlant. Have a fire-safe week.